record, so I just started recording now. So anyways, if anybody is watching this recording, I just started a little late. So we're filling in our two-way frequency table. Jackson, you're messaging me. What did you write? It's in the practice book on page 159. Jackson, do you know the skinny practice book?
Yeah, I just needed to find the page. I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. Page 159.
Okay,
so now that
thank you.
No worries. Now that we have our margins filled out, now we can fill out our total, and the total number of people surveyed was what?
232.
232. Thank you. Started answering, Anthony and Amari and whoever verbally told me. All right. So now that our two-way frequency table is filled out, now we can start working on our questions. So it says, which style was preferred as the state competition piece and by what percentage? Okay. Gothic, yep. So this style was preferred, and you can tell that because that's the greatest number out of all the joint frequencies. So Gothic. And to find out the percentage, I did that wrong, sorry. I did the wrong one. We're looking at this number, just the style, not the male style. That's the next question. So to find the percentage, that's going to be 125 over 232. 125 over 232 is 0.539. I'm going to round there. And so that's going to equal 53.9%. Okay, so that's our percentage. And then this is our style. The piece would be Gothic. Okay. All right. So which subject was preferred the most by males? That was Gothic. Now we're just comparing just our male column. Okay, we're just looking at the males, and the one that was preferred the most clearly was Gothic. And we didn't have to figure anything out with that one. So what frequency does 125 over 232 represent? Where did that 125, this 125, where did that come from?
Adding
The
up
total
the
amount.
males and females in Gothic.
Yeah, the total of people that like Gothic. Now, if you watch the video, you should know the vocabulary term for this, because what is this right here? What are these totals telling me? Are those your marginal or your joint?
Joint.
The ones in the green box?
Marginal.
Marginal. So these here are your marginal numbers. And so if they're asking what frequency does 125 over 232 represent, that is representing our marginal relative frequency. So marginal. And if you haven't watched the video, this is why you should, because they talk about these vocabulary terms. Marginal relative frequency. Okay, so what frequency does 125 over 232 represent? It represents the marginal relative frequency, and it's telling us, that's a semicolon, it's telling us that 125 students prefer Gothic. Out of the 232 surveyed, okay? So we're going to keep practicing, but these 4 numbers in the middle are your joint frequencies. The numbers that are in the green boxes, those are your margins, and so those are your marginal frequencies. Okay? So we'll keep practicing, and then we are going to have a quiz on Friday, just to let you know. So do we have all the answers for that first page? Now, are you ready for me to move on? I hope. I'll post a screenshot of it when we're all done as well. But I want to move on since we killed time trying to do breakout rooms. All right, so number 2, family vacationers were surveyed at a rest area in Marion County, rest area I-75. Southbound, the families were asked about what and how they primarily listen to music in their family cars while on the road. All right, so we were given our joint frequencies, okay? So here are joint frequencies. Now we have to find our marginal frequencies. Okay, so what are our marginal frequencies? What's 84 plus 70?
154.
150. Let me see if I can fix this. Did this last time too. I'm going to try to put this cursor all the way down here because that's the only thing I can figure out as to why it's messing up. All right. Let's see if I can get this right. So it's 154. It's not working. Why? Okay, now I can write. Good. The streaming music, that row, what is the total there?
152.
152, thank you. Now we're going to look at our columns. In the pop column, what is the total?
140.
140. And then in our country column?
166.
166. Thank you. Now we can add our rows or columns together to make sure that they're correct, and we get 306. All right. So part A, it says compute the joint and marginal relative frequencies in the table. So our joint are going to be these 4. And our marginal, we're going to use our margins numbers, and we're going to figure out the frequencies. So in order to do that, we have to divide each one of those numbers by this total 306 and turn it into a percent. Okay, so 84 divided by 306, I'm going to get 27.5. It's doing it again. It's going to drive me insane. Okay, that's 27.5. I'm going to try one more time to write it. And I'll try to move it there. Really? All right. So we're going to find out the percentages for each one of our joint frequencies. So for our country, the people who listen to country on the radio is 22.9%. The families that listen to pop on the streaming music, it's going to be 18.3%. And then the families that listen to country on streaming music is 31.4%. Okay, so those are our joint frequencies, our joint relative frequencies. Now we're going to do the same thing for our marginal relative frequencies. So 140 divided by 306 is going to give me 45.8%. 166 divided by 306 is 54.2%. 152 divided by 306 is 49.7%. And then finally we have 50.3%. Any questions on how I got those percentages? All right. I can't do that. It's okay. So how many families listen to pop music on the radio? Pop music on the radio is going to be 84. Thank you, Amari. What percentage of families listen to country music? Okay, now we're looking for percentage of families that listen to country music. Careful, we're looking at all families. It didn't matter if they listened to it on the radio or streaming music. So we're going to look at this number.
54.2.
Thank you. So that's going to be 54.2%. How many families were interviewed?
306.
306. Thank you, Amari. I see you writing messages in there. And then it says circle the numbers that represent the joint frequencies. We don't need to. They're already highlighted in orange. So those are the numbers that represent the joint frequencies, are the orange ones in the orange box. All right. So those are all of the answers to the practice book questions. You now should be able to go into the forms, complete the answers in there because they're the answers that we already just went over. And then you're going to attach a picture of your workbook. So if you haven't taken a picture of your workbook that we just did, take a picture of it and then go ahead and fill out the forms. Or if you need to take a picture on your phone and do the forms on your phone, that works too. You already have all the answers though, so the forms shouldn't take long.
What was the last one?
Did I miss one? The circle the numbers that represent joint frequencies?
Yeah.
That's all these numbers. So
Okay.
all the ones that are in the orange box. Okay, so does everybody know where to find the forms? And is everybody able to access the forms? Because that's what you should be working on right now, is filling that in.